Alright guys, we're here back with another video. Today's video we'll discuss the awesome away win against New Mexico United that just happened this last weekend. And we'll talk about the disappointing loss in the US Open Cup against the Earthquakes last night. We'll do that right after this. What's up everybody, Old Glory Red Report at Fort Rock Brewing, of course. Casey J, Jonathan Glatz, I'm Mark Anthony, the usual suspects. We'll be talking about the two last games, one over the weekend, a great away win against New Mexico United. Let's jump into it. We went in there knowing that we're playing the top team in the West. You get a 3-0 win. Casey, what were your first impressions of the game?
Look, we talked about it. We thought it was going to be a tough game, and we dominated a lot of the game. I think we went there, we looked good, and we looked strong. My initial thoughts on this game are it was a good, solid performance from a team building confidence, and I think the coach may have been forced into a couple of changes with Harris sitting on the bench, but it looked good.
John, what'd you think?
I thought it was good too. I know the previous week we had talked a lot about how our attacking was. We were building up, we were making the right movements, we were getting forward, we were looking dangerous, and this is something where, you know, our offense, they executed when they needed to. They converted on, not all of their chances, but they converted on a lot of chances. I mean, 3 goals is a decent victory. And our defense did well too. You know, a lot of the season we've been seeing some stupid mistakes, you know, from Josh Cohen, a lot of our back line. And we didn't really see that. I mean, there were a couple mistakes, but nothing that was so dangerous that it cost us. So that's something I'm really happy to see. Like, maybe we're finally starting to gel. Maybe we just went in there with a certain swagger. And both Iwasa and Bijev are back to full health, and they've always been essential to how we play.
Yeah, and just to correct myself, I meant Harris came in for Kynan, who was actually on a card for this one. So
We'll forgive you, Casey.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I looked at my screen and it told me I was wrong.
I mean, we've been down on the guys for a lot this season, so I think it's time to actually show some praise because that was a full comprehensive victory. I mean, you go on the road and you win 3-0 against anyone, whether it's Tacoma or anyone else, that's a good win.
Absolutely.
Now, to do it against a team like New Mexico, who's been the class of the Western Conference in this early season.
First home loss.
Yeah, that's even better. So, hey, you got to give full credit to, again, the coaching staff. I think that was another game where the team looked really good from minute one and carried that performance through the entire game. We did not see a lot of mental lapses, at least not critical mental lapses in that game. Whereas New Mexico, they create a lapse early. Old friend Justin Schmidt, he gets called for taking down Iwasa. Some say it was a soft call. What were your initial thoughts, Casey? Other than being happy that they made the call.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to take it all day. And honestly, if it goes the other way, you're upset about it. If it's against the Republic, we also
We
are
would have
probably
been pretty
saying
upset.
it's a soft one. But as a defender in any league around the world, you have to know if you have both arms draped over a player, they're just going to crumple to the ground. And I'm not saying that's what the player did here. I'm just saying that's the way it is. So the ref interprets it that way, and you're going to get called for it every time.
What'd you think, John?
I agree. I mean, obviously I'm not a ref, but if I'm the ref, that's probably something I don't award as a foul. I did feel it was a little soft, but I mean, looking at the replays, it looked to me like he was pushing down on his shoulders. It's definitely a foul. I'm just not sure, and I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Every day. I'm just not sure it's the type of foul I want to see called in the box necessarily.
Especially so early. I mean, maybe
What was it, like 25th minute, was
yeah,
it?
because it's so early, maybe you wave that off a little bit more like you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to tell what happens on the field, too. Maybe there was a sequence earlier where there was maybe Justin Schmidt had his arms on a player, and maybe the ref told him, hey, watch yourself, or we don't know. I mean, I didn't really study when I watched the game again. into that. But
They didn't have a really good angle for it either.
I mean,
all the video I've seen.
we would have been mad if it went against us on the other side of the pitch, but let's be honest, when you're a defender and you got two arms over the guy, and Awasa is not a player who falls easily, and he's not a player who goes looking for calls like that. So, hey, defender put himself in a predicament, much like one of our players put themselves in a predicament against the Earthquakes that we'll talk about
Later.
in a little bit. But hey, we'll take it. We were not complaining. But how about Awasa again scoring a penalty? He missed 3 last year. He is perfect this year. He has
He's
changed.
so cheeky. He's
Calm
so
as you
cheeky.
like. Calm as you
And you
like.
know, I don't know if this style is going to come back to get him. Maybe a keeper will bait him in the future to not making a move and jumping out of the way. But that has been successful for him. Do you think we're just going to continue seeing him take the same type of penalties the whole season?
Look, I think you have to switch it up if you're him. Once the keeper see you doing it every once in a while, then you're just gonna have to smash one.
Yeah,
You're
you might
just-
go one too many, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to press your luck every once in a while, and you're just gonna have to smash one. You're gonna have to smash one at the goal and let the keepers know, hey, look, I'm not gonna be cheeky every time. Sometimes I'm just gonna slot it into that top corner, and so, but it's worked for him right now. So
I think we'll see him take it until it gets
you
saved.
think so?
Yeah, but it's always I would rather do something different before it hurts than go one too many times. But hey, he's been successful. It looked great. I think we can all agree that we loved the celebration, shutting up the New Mexico United fans. They had a full, I don't know what their capacity is, but they had over 14,000 again. It was
Big
their
capacity.
best attendance for
Terrific
them on the
turnout.
season. They're super high in attendance this year, which is awesome. It's good for the game. Glad to see that expansion team putting, butts in the seats and getting a lot of families out there. So that's always good for the league because there's nothing worse than when we watch one of our team or one of our games, our away games, where there's like a few hundred people there against maybe one of the two teams or something
In LA
like that.
too, yeah.
So it's a cool
Tacoma.
atmosphere.
One
But-
thing I want to say about that is, like, after we went up 2-0 late on, like, you did see the crowd kind of cheer.
Yeah.
Like, and you hate to see that. That happens even at Papa Murphy's Park when the crowd stay for the game. This is a sport where things can happen.
2-0 late on. I think I think they were
New Mexico's been a
defeated.
good team. They could do. I mean, I don't know. I'm a diehard. I stay for the
I
whole
agree
game
with
no
you.
matter what. We could be down 4-0 and I'm there to the 90th plus minute. So for me, it's like that kind
Well,
of.
Casey, not everybody is as awesome of a fan as you are.
Thank you.
But thank you for
I try to be.
Thank you for leading me into my next question for John. Matt Mahoney gets his first goal, not only for the Republic, but his first professional soccer goal. Now, that was a beautiful cross, a nice headed finish. I was pretty unexpectedly surprised that all went down,
I
but
didn't expect that.
I jumped up when that happened. What was your initial thoughts when you saw that ball go past the keeper and into the side of the net?
I saw him hit it. I saw the angle. I thought it was just going to go a bit wide. And
He
when
called for it too. Like you see him
did.
put his hand
He
up,
did.
and then was it Ray Sari who
It
played
was
that
Sari.
ball? Beautiful
It was.
cross.
And I'm thinking, when I see that go, we're just going to do what we normally do. We're just going to miss a sitter. It goes to the back of the net. I'm just like, oh my! I was so pleased that we finally made a goal like that. I didn't expect Matt Mahoney to get a goal. I'm very pleased that he did. I thought it was a beautiful cross. He headed it perfectly, silenced my doubts, and I was not jumping up and down, but I was jumping up and down.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it was a great ball, recycled. We had numbers in the box. It's always good to send another ball back in. And you get that's why you have your center backs go up for those corner kicks to get those bigger bodies. For me, what I really loved about that goal is how excited his teammates were, how you saw everybody flock to that corner, substitutes, the starting 11, everybody but Josh Cohen, I'm pretty sure, went over there to congratulate him. But yeah, I mean, that is an awesome way to get his first goal for the boys. I mean, it's a crucial game, a crucial 3 points. Hey, if you're only going to get one every once in a while, you might as well get, the one that seals the game in a tough away environment. So I loved it. And then we didn't stop there. That's another thing that I liked. Later on in the game, we saw Bonamo come on to the game, had a beautiful layoff for Skundrich. He takes it down the wing, he cuts it back. Awasa, if you talked about the first goal that he scored being cheeky, we got to talk about his second goal with a little nice dink right off the post. And then, Casey, what did you think about that?
Well, it's a situation where he's only got the open net to hit. The only thing that determines whether you score here or not is whether you put it on frame. And he did, and we haven't been doing that recently. We've talked about time and time again where chances have gone wasted. Well, both teams only had 3 shots on target. The only difference is we have 3 goals out of it and they didn't. And that's taking chances. That's Iwasa not missing that sitter when it's right there for you. That's, Skundrich, that tight angle, and still getting the ball on target to cause the keeper to not make the save and get something. So for me, I think both of them are fantastic. I'll take the cheekiness from Iwasa all day as long as he's putting that ball on target.
And that's one of the things I know especially you've talked about this, is seeing Awasa play higher. Less of a supporting role, more of attacking role in their face.
Because he scores goals.
Scores goals.
Yeah,
he doesn't
scores goals.
Yeah. He will miss, but not very often. And he's by far our best attacker. And you've been saying it all year long. I agree with you completely. He needs to be more of an attacker and less of a supporter.
Yeah.
I think that we owe a lot of credit, especially in that game, to this.
Yeah, I know, and it's a perfect segue to talk about the starting lineup. We saw an 11 this time, much to my liking. Like you mentioned, I've wanted to see Awasa start a game at striker and not start in that underneath role, that number 10 role. Skundrich started in that 10 role. Skundrich at times can frustrate us. I know he does. To you as much as he does to me,
especially in that San Jose game, as we'll talk about.
But he brings some athleticism. And that was a hell of an assist that he had. I mean, we have to give him credit. He plays hard. He's quick. He's all over the pitch. So it was nice to see him contribute to an end result, an Awasa goal. But yeah, I did like that starting 11. I thought that was maybe the first game where Bijev, Awasa, and Werner were all starting at the same time, maybe from the opening game or so, with health and everything like that. So what you guys think of the starting 11 overall? If you want to talk about the attack, the defense, what was your first impressions when you saw the lineup?
I liked it. You actually sent a message out saying you liked it. I agree. It's a terrific lineup. Bijev and Warner on the sides. I mean, you look at the touch map, Warner has been amazing on that touch map. When you look at the touch map, whatever side we're attacking on is lit up with touches. The heat maps are lit up on Warner's side. And because he's been fantastic. And Bijev is also a player that we know. We talked about it in the San Jose game to talk about. We now have accepted him as our Lord and Jesus after that free kick. But he's going to grow into this. And this lineup is going to allow him to grow in. And then we're going to have 2 wingers playing up high that are going to be terrific. And they can interchange very well even with Iwasa. You talked about that Liverpool up line that we talked about where they can interchange and flow a little bit. We might even start seeing that with this top 3, which is impressive to me. The only question I have about this lineup is when Kainen's back, he is our captain. Does he slot back into that back line?
John, what do you think about that? He brings up a good point. Harris and Mahoney have played as our center backs. Maybe not necessarily because they're the 2 best center backs, but because of injuries, yellow cards, and all that. Do you think that Tainer and Kainen are still our starting center backs when they're healthy and or not suspended?
I think they probably should be. I was looking at our back line from the New Mexico game. I mean, I'm not sold out of 3 of those guys. I'm not sold on Harris. I mean, he's been good for us on occasion, but he's also been kind of iffy on occasions.
He likes to wander a little bit. I've noticed that about him. He likes to get into the attack. He also likes, sometimes he can get pulled out looking for interceptions.
He goes a little wide too sometimes.
Yeah, he's one of those center backs that I think the coach kind of wants to, put on a leash sometimes.
And I've also been pretty frustrated with McQuarrie at times. I feel like he's made some either stupid passes or just dumb, and obviously I'm not a professional player, but dumb defensive errors that shouldn't be made. Maybe, I don't know if it's because he's new to the team or what, but I'm not, the only person who started from New Mexico that I'm really sold on is Shannon Gomez, which I wasn't sold on him last year. I'm sold on him this year.
I've been sold on him for last year.
So I think definitely we do have to start Tater. I think we do definitely have to start
Kynan?
Yeah, Kynan. And I want to see our new guy, Barahona.
Yeah. Which is a good option.
And I think obviously with only his reputation preceding him, I'd like to see him get some game time, and I think that'd be a very good back line. I've yet to be convinced by the other three.
I understand what you're saying there. So going into the game, we did talk about seeing Iwasa play up top, moving Bonomo to the bench. But to his credit, he comes into the game, wins some balls, none bigger than the one that he wins to start that counterattack, spring Skundridge for that last goal. I think that's what I want to see more from him. I don't necessarily want to see him start. I want to see him go into games to see them out like that because he is a big body.
Yeah.
He does provide some hold-up play. But we talked about going into this game that New Mexico could get beat on a counterattack, and that's part of the reason why we wanted to see a quicker front line in this game. 3-0, 3 goals, we're all happy. So I guess we'll start with the man of the match for you, Casey. Who are you going with?
You would like to say Iwasa, he scored 2 goals. I'm going to take it, but I'm going to go with Warner. I think he's still our spark. Again, you look at the touch maps. He's the guy that they get the ball to. He's the guy creating these chances. He's the guy that's the one touch here that might not be terrific, might not be like the standout touch, but it's the touch that links the plays together. It's the touch that gets the ball in the right areas. And for me, he's just been terrific. So
He's been on fire.
I'm going to give it to him again.
He's been on fire. John, what do you think? Who's your man of the match?
I don't disagree with what he said. I also want to give it to Iwasa, but I won't. And here's why. The only reason I'm giving my man of the match is first professional goal, clean sheet. I'm going to give it to Matt Mahoney.
Fair enough.
Just because to me, that's the first time he's really stood out above the rest. I didn't see any major mistakes from him. And, despite me still not being completely sold on him as our starting back line, obviously the results don't lie. So I'm going to give it to Mahoney.
Yeah, first professional goal, first goal with the Republic, but another start for him, or his first, was it his first start?
No, I think he started early.
He started early on at
times.
left back, right?
Yeah.
But he came on in the previous game for Kynan and played well, And then for him to get the start, contribute, like you said, to a clean sheet and get his first goal, that's a great pick right there. I was going to pick him because I figured one of you two was going to take Iwasa. He did score 2 goals. So, odds were that one of you guys was taking Iwasa.
Iwasa's already on the top for player of the season, so I think we're all trying to stay away.
We all love Iwasa.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. I'm just trying to be original.
Yeah, absolutely. I will take Iwasa because he now increases his tally to 7.
Terrific for Iwasa.
Puts himself back into the conversation for the Golden Boot. So he's at 7 right now. I think the leader is still at 10. So he's back into the mix. Maybe a couple more games where he can get on the score sheet and he can be right back at the top.
Yeah. He just needs another hat trick.
Yeah.
A couple more penalties will work for him too. Why not?
Yeah.
He's already got 4 or 5 this season.
So I guess takeaway from this game, hopefully we will see the starting lineup maybe for our next USL match, but we'll transition into the US Open Cup. All right, guys. So after that big win against New Mexico United, the boys, we're on the road to take on the San Jose Earthquakes in, of course, the US Open Cup. We're drawn against our Northern California rivals again. So we saw the guys come out and take an early lead. Back in the fourth game, ultimately we fall 4-3. I'm sure most of you watched the game. But man, Warner gets on the score sheet just after the first minute mark of the game, so he scores in the second minute. Casey, how excited were you when that goal went in to see our guys up early on the road against a MLS opponent?
Look, there's no better than a start in an Open Cup against a strong team who's been in form, who is already the favorite to win it. and you get that first goal and you say, hey, maybe we're going to go and get this. You get that little bit of grit in your teeth, and we saw the players do that too. Good on Warner, Johnny on the spot kind of goal. Like, maybe not the most beautiful goal in the world, but he's there to put it in, and that speaks a lot to, like we talked about before, with him just being on right now. He's got that confidence, that grit going forward, and he gets it. I think it gives everybody that's watching confidence that we can win this.
Yeah. San Jose came into the game. They've been playing very well in the MLS. They came out with a strong starting 11 against us. John, were you surprised to see them playing with most of their starters against us?
I wasn't, especially given how their season's going. I think they've wanted to make a cup run. I think they also know what we're capable of. I think, there's still a lot of interconnectivity a little bit, if that makes sense, between our areas.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to follow, how we're doing, especially our recent turn of form. If we were a worse team, then I think maybe they would have fielded a not as good lineup.
Yeah, B squad or something.
But especially given our past couple of games, beating our division leaders, and winning the game before that, we're on a high. And if they want to progress, they're going to need to come out with all that they've got. And we have a history together where we've actually taken lead every single game we've started against them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So they know what we're capable of. So I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah, and they had the usual suspects, Wondolowski.
I was interested to see him start in this game.
Yeah?
It's someone that just broke the record for scoring in the MLS and stuff. It's very interesting to see him still get a start in this.
Wondolowski, Erickson, guys like Tommy Thompson, who we're familiar with, Youngworth on the back line. So definitely starting a strong squad for them. Now, switching to our guys, we use the same starting 11 from the win against New Mexico United. We saw Was up top and Skundrich underneath. We do get that early goal. However, we give up the lead right away on a terrible Skundrich mistake. He loses the ball right above our penalty box. Casey, what are your thoughts about that?
You can't lose the ball there. You are dwelling on it. He gets a little stuck underneath his feet, if you would. He doesn't know what to do with it, and it's taken advantage of by a strong San Jose team. When you're playing an MLS team, you can't have those moments of lapses because they will take advantage of it. We saw that.
Yeah.
I was talking to a coworker today. I was like, maybe it would have been okay if it was against the USL opponent.
Yeah.
Maybe. But especially where he gave it away.
It's
Against
bad.
almost, and except maybe FC Cincinnati. Against any MLS side, you can't do
Digging.
that.
Yeah, and the ball finds Ericsson's feet. We're talking about a Swedish international player. I mean, it's not a
player.
USL player like you mentioned. Like, we're talking about a guy who's represented his national team. He's played at, the top tier divisions around the world. So, yeah, maybe you get away with it against a Fresno or Reno or something like that, but not against an MLS opponent. You usually, more times than not, get bit.
Well, let's be honest. Even against a USL team, it's a bad giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Because there's guys like some of the guys on Phoenix that we've talked about in the past, and some of the guys on OC right now who are playing really well. Even like Cheney is going to take advantage of these right now. So there are players in the USL that will take advantage of that kind
You can
of
give
bad
that penalty
mistake.
away, or that foul away to Bono, though.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but I'm just saying, like, let's not. Like, I don't want to dig.
Unfortunately.
I don't want to dig Skundrich out of the hole by saying it was an MLS guy that took advantage of it, because I feel like it's a bad giveaway, regardless
Absolutely.
of that.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying
It might be forgiven at a
it might be
different level.
forgiven at a different level.
And I can agree with that. I just want to go on the counterpoint and say that
Still, it was a
it's
terrible
bad
giveaway.
either
Terrible
way.
giveaway.
So at this point, it's 1-1. About halfway through the first half, we get a free kick, dangerous area. It was definitely in a nice spot on the field where you could take it right footed, you could take it left footed. We saw Warner and Bijev over the ball. We didn't know who was actually going to take it. I personally thought Warner was actually going to take it. But Bijev, with his right foot right over the wall, perfect free kick out of the keeper's reach. We're up 2-1. We've seen some of those videos of our fans cheering from the seats there, so we knew they were excited. I was pretty stoked. What'd you think about that free kick?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, you did say it. Big up to TBB and all the traveling support that went out there. I know there was a couple buses worth of Republic supporters that went out. So that's amazing. That's a pretty long journey to get out there. Not as long as like LA, but
on a
still
Tuesday, man.
A long journey on a Tuesday.
So definitely
so
props.
Great support. Yeah, I mean,
Cheers.
my Lord and Savior BJ, we've talked about it in other episodes. He's going to save our season, and if he does things like that in the USL, he could do it. So I'm praying. I'm praying to the BJ right now.
Are we going to have BJ start taking our free kicks because of this?
Well, I think for a right footer, I think right now he is our best option. We've seen him take free kicks before. We know that he has that class where he can hit at least a accurate ball. I don't know about maybe longer ones that require a little bit more power. He might not be the right guy for it, but yeah, the ones at 20, 25 yards out, right footed, I think BJ's a good option.
Because my question is, ever since Emerald left, Emerald used to be our free kick taker, and he was phenomenal at free kicks. We got quite a few points off his free kicks.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I've been very underwhelmed by our free kicks.
Warner's had some good ones recently, so I think we might see a nice little 1-2 combo there.
And when Alleman comes back, because we forget Alleman has still an
the
injury,
Reno.
but he can come back. We've seen him also take some
Reno
pretty
goal
sweet
last
free
year.
kicks too. So maybe when he comes back on, he challenges that wing position and maybe starts to get some free kicks.
So we're up 2-1, but not everything is going our way with our new Lord and Savior Bijev, because
the lessons are learned through tough times.
He commits what I would say is an egregious penalty, because
it's bad.
There's no point for him to take that big of a bite at the apple in a player who's he's in our box, yes, but he's really in a non-threatening position. He's facing his own goal. He's going to have to either lay the ball off or create a couple moves to even put himself in a position to either get a dangerous cross or a shot off. My initial reaction was, "Oh no, what are you doing, man?" He motions to the referee. It's a dive. You got him, and even if Tommy Thompson sold it, you got to go down in that situation. He got you in a bad spot. You bit. You took too many bites at the apple. You get called for the penalty. What was your thoughts on the initial call?
Yeah, he's a lumberjack just hacking at trees, because he takes those legs out all day. If you're a San Jose fan and they don't call that, you're just going to be outrageously pissed, because it's a clear. I mean, it's shin to shin. It is late. It is a bad
Very
challenge.
Obvious. Yeah.
And in this point in the game, we're up. It's late on in the first half. Why make that challenge? Shepherd that player back out of the box again, because Tommy Thompson is running back out of the top of the box. If BJ stands his ground and just pushes him out, you're resetting the play, and you don't need to make that challenge. I think he's in good position if he doesn't make it to do that too. So for me, it's just maybe a little bit tiredness from not playing. He did start. This was halfway or almost to the end of the first half, 34th minute or something like that.
Yeah, we're about 10 minutes from halftime.
Yeah, so maybe he's getting a little bit tired at this point, needs a little bit of rest from not playing like we've seen him, but it's just not a good challenge.
Yeah, and at that point in the game, my thoughts were, man, we're about 10 minutes till half. If we can carry a 2-1 lead into the break, dominating play for almost the entire half, especially I think up until that very moment in the game, we had dominated the first 30, 35 minutes. We had a number of opportunities. I mean, really, San Jose's only good chance was the bad giveaway by Skundrich to that point. So I was feeling really good. I'm thinking, hey, if we get a 2-1 lead, we might have a chance at this. But we go in 2-2. Start of the second half, things are different. San Jose came out as well as we came out in the first half. They were on the front foot. It always looked like they were going to be the next team to score. John, what were you thinking as the second half was progressing? Were you thinking I still think we're going to get one, or did you think it was inevitable that we were going to give up a goal?
By the way we started playing, it looked like we didn't have it there physically or mentally. And I thought there was a lot of dumb passes, a lot of poor passes.
We were chasing the
They
game.
got a little frantic.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't hold possession.
Frantic is a good word. It looked like we were scared. It looked like, I don't know, I mean, I think we wanted it, but it didn't look like we wanted it, because we were only dangerous maybe 1 or 2 times that entire half.
Yeah.
And
They were dangerous a number of times.
Yeah, and our
They
credit
had
to our
12
defense.
shots on goal, and let's say only 2 or 3 of those came in the first half. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Credit to our defense. They did exceptionally well, especially in the second half.
They weathered the storm for a while too.
But with how much we are letting them attack, and how little we possess the ball, how poor our possession was, I think it wasn't.
Yeah.
And we bent a lot. We gave them a lot of leeway, and Cohen made some great saves. The defense made some great stops.
Yeah, I remember that Cohen save specifically with his left hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where it was
Kind
a
of went a
hard
little bit the
shot.
wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
them.
bit of a knuckled shot, I think, so it kind of confused him, but he got behind it. From my viewpoint, I thought we started off so strong and so energetic, and I think we expended not only a lot of energy in that first half, but I think the mental part where we go into the break tied 2-2 instead of winning after scoring 2 goals, I think that was deflating on top of expending so much physical energy in that first 45.
Which I was actually pretty happy that we
Yeah, we
especially
came out
against
hard.
an MLS team.
You got to come out strong on the road like that.
Yeah,
against a team like that. You have to.
Against an MLS team tied 2-2 at the half when you're division down. Like, for example, if you're the Premier League and the Championship, if you're in a cup match and you're tied 2-2 at the half, that's very, very good.
Absolutely.
So
We're down 3-2. They score another goal. We get one back, in the 93rd minute to make it 4-3. We didn't really have another chance to tie the game, but overall, it's a 4-3 loss. But again, hard to be, I guess, too down about it when you're playing on the road against a team from, in the MLS. So, Casey, what was your overall takeaway from the game?
Look, fair enough. If we want to look at silver linings, in my opinion, look, if that 91st minute goal doesn't go in from
Vaca.
Yeah, there you go. Skunter's goals levels it out at 93 minutes.
Right.
So we were right in there till the last minute challenging, because one goal either way would have put us on level terms, would have put this game into extra time. So I think the boys have to keep their heads up. We have to look at it again. It's shots created and chances created. We're actually putting shots in the back of the net. So maybe we didn't win this one, but 2 back-to-back games with 3 goals. We haven't done 3 goals all freaking season.
Yeah.
And that's 6 goals in 2 games. So if we're going to say a loss, yeah, it's disappointing, because I think we could have won this one, actually. And the way we came out in the first half, maybe we should have. Maybe our defense should have been a little better. And if we have other players in, maybe that's different. Who knows? We can speculate. But 6 goals, 2 games, a good game against San Jose at their home, on a Tuesday when we have to play on what we played Saturday. So for me, that's a good result.
Yeah. What about you, John? Your final takeaway from the game?
during the game, especially, unfortunately didn't get to watch the first half. But
We missed all the fun parts.
I know. But, there's not been a game where I've yelled at the TV more. Maybe, because I wanted to win that game.
You wanted to pull the upset. Yeah,
I wanted
for
to pull
sure.
the upset, and I know we have the quality to do it.
Yeah.
But, when you go back and you look at it, it's still a game we very easily could have won. We had a miss that should have been a goal from both Bijev and Bonomo. That would have given if we had made both of those, we would have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
If we had made one of them, we would have tied the game. And it's a game of very thin margins, despite them winning. It's a game that easily could have gone the other way. Overall, during the game, I was very angry. I was yelling at the TV. I was yelling at the players, calling them names. But you go back and you think of it objectively.
Yeah.
We played a game 3 days before.
Yeah.
Tuesday's a weird day to play a game anyway. I think we would have maybe done a little better if we played on Wednesday, but that's all
That's
speculation.
marginal even to
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm quite pleased. We scored 3 goals against an MLS squad.
Yeah, it's another good output, like you guys mentioned. My final takeaways is I thought the players played really hard. I thought they gave it a go. They gave it their honest effort. They almost did something special. For me, though, look, we made 3 absolutely critical errors in that game.
100%.
Three goals that we gave up. The first one, I mean, obviously it's a terrible giveaway. The second one is a terrible challenge, at least at PK. And then the last goal that they score is just, I mean, very sloppy defending. It was very elementary, in my opinion.
Defending.
Yeah. But I also think our coaching let us down too. And I'll point to 2 reasons why I think that. The first one is we started the game with Warner on the left and Bijev on the right, and we were very successful. When we switched wings, and I don't know if that is a players are making that decision, they're given that freedom, or if that's an Elliott decision. When Bijev went to the left side of the field, Tommy Thompson came alive.
Yeah.
Tommy Thompson not only got fouled for the penalty, but he started creating chances over there. Bijev couldn't stay with him. But when Warner was over there, Warner had the quickness, the agility to stay with a guy like Tommy Thompson. So that was the first coaching error that I saw. The second coaching error that I saw was taking Warner out of the game.
That was my biggest question that night. Like,
I didn't
why?
understand that.
Because
Why would
he
you
is
take
your
him out?
outlet. Bijev is a good winger, but Bijev is not the pacey winger. Warner is. Against a team like the Earthquakes, especially in that second half, where they are just on top of us, and we need any outlet we can. We take our paciest player off the field, the one guy that can maybe get us a counterattack or just get the ball into their territory and hold possession.
100%.
They take him off, they put in Bonamo, and Bonamo rewards us with a bad miss. I mean, he had a great service to him by Villarreal, gave him that breakaway, and he just scuffed it. I mean, it was just a poor touch, shot, whatever you want to say. It was a terrible end product.
Yeah.
So I think coaching didn't help. I get it. Warner's been playing a lot of minutes. But still, removing him from the wing where Thompson was, he was keeping Thompson in check and then pulling him out of the game. I thought those critical errors by the players and by the coaching just didn't give our team a chance to win.
Rich, I have a question, and this I don't personally have an answer to.
I probably do then.
Well, that's fine. So, you know, we've talked a lot about Bonamo muffing his chances, but he also is still there making the chances happen.
Sure.
And do you think either A, the coach thought he could do something like he did against Fresno, or do you think that maybe he thought putting him on the field would open up players like Iwasa or Bijev or somebody else to get that goal? Because Bono is, I think he's a great player. He creates a lot of chances. He's fast. He does a lot of good things. The only problem that for us this season, he's not finishing it. Damn
Bonamo
thing.
offers relief from the back line, I think, late on. And I think that's maybe what the coach was thinking when they made that sub, is at that point we are weathering the storm, if you will. So Bonamo is supposed to relieve that pressure up top. We're supposed to just kick that long ball, and he's supposed to capture it and hold on to it for a minute and relieve it. And I think that's the idea that the coach has there, at least in my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But for me, I want to touch back on the Warner coming off thing. Look, if we're not close in this challenge and San Jose's burning us out 3-0 right now, then take Warner off, rest him for he's got a good week and a half rest. He's been doing a lot of minutes. But we're winning this game. It makes more sense to take Bijev off and rest him for that long-term game and get him healthy. So for me, I go back to Mark's comment. That's where the coach got this wrong to me, is you take Bijev off, you give him the rest. You let a guy in form like Warner play this game out, and maybe he makes the difference to win this game.
Warner didn't look like he was struggling physically for me. But to answer your question, I think he makes that sub because he decides he's going to take Warner off, and Bonamo's our only attacking player sitting on the bench at this moment in time. Blackwood wasn't available. I just think that when you have a limited squad in numbers, we do not have a terribly deep squad. When you look at it, one forward is injured, you basically only have one off the bench. I mean, that's how it is right now. Awasa, Blackwood, and Bonamo are your 3 guys that have played striker this year, right? So one of them's hurt. You got one sitting over there. I don't know why he chose Warner to come off, but Warner has played a lot of minutes lately. Maybe he realized at that point in the game, we're probably not going to win this game. Yes, we don't have a
got
game
a
for a
week
while.
and a half, though.
I agree. I wasn't a fan of that sub. I'm just trying to be in Elliot's brain. I don't agree.
I can look at what John said. Look, you put Bonomo on, it offers you relief in the back line. You nod that down. You put Iwasa back, who's having a decent game. You nod a couple on to Iwasa and maybe let him break. I see maybe what the coach is going for. But you can't take off one of your most informed players at this time.
And I'm not defending anything. I'm just, again, like saying what you're doing, trying to get into the coach's brain. Bonomo had a perfect opportunity to score. A perfect opportunity to score. And if he had scored, we all would be praising the coach for putting him on.
It would be a different conversation.
It would be completely.
But you also got to think that he's put him on a few times and even started him when it hasn't worked. So that's an off shot.
But who else? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that Mark said that. Who else?
Yeah, I mean, we had Partain on the bench,
but are you
he's
going to bring him on? Yeah.
And I would have I was thinking maybe bring off Bijev and put on a Horde because that's what they've been doing. I prefer Horde in the back line. I think I've mentioned that before, but that's the only other sub that I would really
I would even
consider
prefer that over the taking Warner off. I just don't see taking Warner off in a critical game where we could possibly get the upset against an MLS team and you take off our most informed player that is creating. Like I said, even if he's not the assist or the final touch, he is a leader in almost all of the goals we're scoring, just in his play.
He has the most crosses. I mean, he's always creating something.
So we're in this crucial moment. Why take him off? But nah.
All right, so final thoughts or man of the match?
I'm going to go with Warner again. I think he's terrific. He's in
You're
the right place.
Pencil him in
I am just. I don't even got to think about this anymore.
Found the new Warner fan club
Look,
president.
Yeah, right.
The first goal he scores, he's in great position to pick up a dirty ball and put it in.
Yeah.
And that builds confidence from early on. We talked about he's been there to create every chance, even if he's not the touch that's the one before the goal. He's 2 or 3 touches before the goal, and he's doing the right things. Can't say enough positive about him. Just going to move on.
John?
I'm going to say, collectively as the team, they rose together, they fell together. There was a lot of bad mistakes that each player made. There's also a lot of really good back and forth that each player made. Especially, again, against an MLS side, a lower division team scored 3 goals. Mm-hmm. And that's something. I really liked our back and forth play during parts of the game. There was a lot of just like one-touch passes that I really liked. Our defense, by and large, played really well. So overall, I'm going to give credit to the whole team. I'm not going to single out a player. I think
whole team man of the match.
Team man of the match.
There's a couple guys
We're breaking boundaries today.
There's a couple guys that you would pick, but like Bijev, I thought he had a good game, but he made a critical mistake. Can't give it to him. Skundrich, I thought he had a good game, but he made a critical mistake.
Scundy.
So for me, I think Jordan McCrary is going to be the player that I thought.
I would have not seen that one.
I thought he was solid, and he didn't make any terrible mistakes. So that already eliminates about half the players that played. And he is a player that is MLS caliber. So I thought that
he's been there, he's done it.
Sometimes, there were moments in the game where I thought a couple of our guys looked a little out of place. Like you could tell that they were from a lower division, but not McCrary. Physically, mentally, I think he has both of that down. And I think that we're fortunate to have a player like him, to be honest. So
interesting contrast from John's results to your results from game to game, because he did have a better game this time.
Yeah.
He did step it up this time. I give you credit for that. I mean, 100%. He had a good game against San Jose.
All right. So, hey, it's a disappointing end to our U.S. Open Cup run, but we can take solace in the fact that we did beat 2 of our rivals.
Absolutely.
We did not get knocked out. We did not get embarrassed. Nothing like that. I remember a couple years ago when we got knocked out by that team from
Fresno Fuego.
No, the team from Washington. You remember we lost like 3-1 at home? I remember this.
I thought it was like the Fresno Fuego.
No, it was a team. It was a Kitsap.
The Pumas.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was an embarrassing. I think they're like an MPSL team or something like that. They destroyed us at home. Not a fun time to be a Republic fan for that day or that week.
No.
But, hey, so it was another decent run. You can't say enough about that. That's another year. It seems to be every year that we do something well in this tournament. Maybe we don't get to a semifinal or see that dream happen. But you know what? We play respectable and we make more MLS opponents respect us.
And I think that's probably why we're not getting as far also.
Because they know to expect a good game.
Yeah, we've beaten Real Salt Lake
We've beaten MLS.
4-1.
Yeah. We beat
we
Seattle
beat-
Sounders 2-1.
Exactly. We've beat these teams. Consistently is the wrong word, but it's happened numerous times. And if we go play any MLS team, if they field any weakened team, they know we're going to kick their ass.
All right, so that wraps it up. I got a final question for the both of you. The U.S. women, they win 13-0 against Thailand. Fair or foul?
Fair game.
Yeah?
If you can win it by 13, win it by 13.
John?
I completely agree. I think that putting a weaker team is disrespectful to Thailand, and I also think it's disrespectful for our girls to say, well, you know what, these guys are crap, so you should play.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I know that's a big controversy right now. I can understand maybe a little bit of the celebrations were excessive, but hey, it's the World Cup, you know? And I think if anybody's upset about it, they should be upset that a team like Thailand could get there rather than a team like the United States just keeps scoring goals and plays at their peak. So
The women's United States team is the best team in the world.
Yeah.
And it will be, and it won't stop being. And you're going to see these results.
So hopefully they continue to win, put up some numbers, and take this thing. But yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know if you think that their 13-goal performance was fair or foul, and tell us why. Also, let us know your thoughts on the 2 games that happened this last week. But of course, here at Fort Rock Brewing, like always, I'm Mark Anthony, this is Casey J, Jonathan Glatz. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys, we appreciate you watching this Old Glory Red Report video. If you enjoyed this content, we'll have something that YouTube likes for you over here. There'll be something that we think you'll enjoy over here, so check those out. Subscribe right down here. We are on Facebook at the Old Glory Red Report, Instagram and Twitter, Old Glory Red. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a big thumbs up because we love that. We appreciate that very much. Subscribe to the channel. We are on the Beautiful Game Network, so if you don't have the time to watch it, head over to Stitcher, the Apple Store, the iTunes Store. You can catch that podcast over there in the audio form. We also are live here at Fort Rock Brewing. We appreciate everything they do. If you get a chance, we shoot on Wednesdays, so come join us down here at Fort Rock Brewing. All those links will be in the description below. We appreciate you watching. Until next time, thanks, guys.